Peace, 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 peace. Welcome to another episode of the Parry, where we don't pull or duck no punches, and the Parry is fundamental to boxing. I am your host, Bomani UFG, and looks like my man, the pragmatic one. Man, he froze. Man, you froze up pretty weird right there, buddy. That's crazy. Yeah, welcome everybody back to the Parry, where we don't pull or duck no punches, and the Parry is fundamental to boxing. You know what it is. I'm Bomani UFG. I want to welcome y'all back to another episode. I want to remind y'all, please, to jab that like button, uppercut that subscribe button, lead hooks that share button, and throw a combination at the notification bell so you can stay updated when we drop new content. Peace to the God. Peace to the God. I see you, fam. Yeah, man. We got an interesting show today, man. Uh, we're gonna be discussing my man Turki Alalshikh. Turki Alalshikh, the Saudi and now new owner of Ring Magazine, the Emperor, as we call him around these parts. The Emperor, the new Emperor of boxing, the moves that he's making, uh, some of the business moves he's making is shaking up the sport in a good way, in an excellent way, in a way that a lot of us hardcore boxing fans, uh, he's giving us what we wanted to see. Making all the big fights happen. No more promotional companies and you on that side of the street type of, BS that gets in the way of business and the business of boxing, which really prevents the fans from getting, the best fights in the sport. All right, so let's rewind and do this all again. You know what I mean? Welcome to another episode of the Parry, where we don't pull or duck no punches, and the Parry is fundamental to boxing. I am your host, Bomani UFG.
And I am the pragmatic Shape Black.
What's good, brother?
Same fight, different round, man. We here.
We here, man. But yeah, man, I would just bringing up, let everybody know what we talking about today, man. The Emperor, as we like to call him now.
The new emperor. Yeah,
Yeah,
indeed.
the Sheikh. You know what I'm
Uh,
saying? The
Turkey
the
Alice.
Mahdi of boxing.
Boxing's Mahdi.
Boxing's Mahdi. You know what I'm saying? My man Turki Alalshikh, who's he's really shaking up the sport, man. And really he's doing for boxing what probably Dana White done for MMA in a certain kind of way. You know what I'm saying? Only better because he's not limited to one particular promotional company. You could be working with anybody and get some of that oil money. You know what I'm saying? But give me your thoughts, man. What you think on the Emperor and what he's doing for boxing, man? Like, what you think about it, man?
Uh, he seems to come from the perspective of a super fan. Like he seems to be a super fan of the sport, which is only a plus for somebody who want like a lot of the fights that he's making is like dream fights for him. It's like he's sitting there thinking to himself, yo, I'd love to see these two guys fight and making phone calls, and he has the bag to make it happen. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it seems so far, it seems like he's been a blessing to the sport. He's one of the big problems we've had over the last few years is issues over money, making fights happen. Fighters, squabbling over money and the lion's share of the purse, the A side, the B side, and all this other stuff. He seems to be able to open up his bag and have the solution when he does. So, and he seems to be, as of now, making the great fights. He's trying to get the best fighters together, as we will discuss uh, as this program goes on. So I feel like he's only been positive so far. Now we have to be real weary and mindful of a person with this type of control, and um you know he's a fan as well, and we would hate to see you know him having favorites and those favorites benefiting on his cards. You understand what I'm saying? We would hate to see that, having that much power. We don't know. We haven't seen that much power in boxing ever. We've always seen the fighting between the promoters and the fighting between the sanctioning bodies and the promoters and the networks and this network and that network and going across the street to make fights happen. So we've only seen that. You know what I'm saying? So this is definitely, definitely, um, so far he seems like a big plus for the sport so far.
Well, I think this off top, other than how the fans benefit, right? Like last year, he put on a lot of huge fights. Some of the best fight cards I've seen in many, many years. I'm talking about he's stacking cards from top to bottom. And you seeing certain fighters like, well, can't include Crawford. Crawford, well, he left Top Rank, did the what's that Black Prime thing for a second for one fight, went to PBC for Errol Spence, and then he started working with him. You see fighters like Shakur Stevenson, he also left Top Rank, and now he's working with him. You got fighters like Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury. Of course, we know they are tied to different promotional companies, Matchroom or Queensberry, respectively. Um, but you see, like a lot of fighters who are big names or great fighters or a combination of both, um, that are willing to work with him. Which let me know one thing: he's cutting the check. The check is clearing.
Absolutely,
You know what I
absolutely.
mean?
Because that's where the
Which
bottom line all boils down to.
that's what these are prize fighters. That's what it all boils down to, and I think it gives the fighters more incentive because a lot of these promotional companies ain't cutting the check like they probably should for certain fighters and certain names, and a lot of times why we can't get the big fights is because you're not giving me enough money. He's eliminating that from the thought process because the check is clearing. You're gonna get the money you want. Just put on the fight. You know what I'm saying? So he's giving these fighters the incentive to stop ducking in some instances, stop cherry picking in other instances, and go ahead and fight the person that the fans want to see you fight. Like you said, he's a super fan. The guy's a super fan. He loves the sport, and he's not a casual. He's a hardcore fan, right? His favorite fighter is Terrence Crawford, right? Um, so I think from the fan perspective as well as the fighter perspective, he's doing something great for the sport. Absolutely great for. We have never seen this before, where he's basically like a government uh, official or something in Saudi Arabia. He's like a minister or something like that, of like recreation or sports or something like that in Saudi Arabia. And I believe his main objective was to make Saudi Arabia a prime destination to throw on huge sporting events. But he's such a boxing fan that it seems like he's putting the pedal to the metal, stepping on the gas by putting his money behind boxing. And it's not only in the states. He brought, not only in Saudi Arabia, he brought Riyadh season to the states, with rumors of certain fights that we're gonna get into later that we're hearing about supposed to be taking place in places like Times Square, New York City, Atlantic City, Boardwalk. Like he's bringing the fights to the fans, not just for the fans. So I think this man deserves a lot of respect. If you are a boxing fan and you don't like Turki Alalshikh, I think something wrong with you. Um, that's just the way it is, man. This dude is the emperor, man. You gotta call it like it is. He's the Mahdi. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, yeah. Basically, he's actually no, he's better than Don King, man. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Jay, he's better than Don King. Don King wasn't doing nothing like this. I mean, he's put on some big fights. Don't get me wrong. Him and Bob Arum both have put on some of the biggest fights in boxing history. But what Turki Al-Sheikh is doing is unprecedented, man. It really is. It's unprecedented, man. So we got to give this man all due respect. Um, Riyadh season, and he's the new owner of Ring Magazine.
Right, right, right. He is. Which
He's the new owner of Ring Magazine, bro, which is the Bible of boxing. Go ahead, Che.
I wanted to say though, like he has been able to get promoters to work together. Like you said, he's been making the fights happen. He's opening the checks is getting cut. You know, that's definitely one of the big things he's doing. It kind of reminds me of when PBC was gaining a lot of momentum and they were putting on a lot of fights. And it because this is what it seems to be the big difference with him and Al Heyman when Al Heyman was kind of consolidating getting a lot of fighters to fight, you know, under his banner. He seems to have the money to be able to take the loss in the short term that PBC actually didn't have, because PBC was playing with the network's money, and when the networks was realizing that, yo, we're not turning over profits, in fact we're going in the red to pay these fighters, whereas he's able to pay the fighters without going in the red. You know, especially if you're gonna do it over there in Riyadh, he's able to have these extravagant events over there to the point where it I don't know if it matters or not if he ends up green or not. You know what I'm saying? I don't you
I mean, they're giving away
I
they're
don't
giving
know if
away
he's
cards.
mining the money. Like, is he mining the money over there? I don't know what's going on with this guy over there, but he seems to be able to have the sources, the resources that Al Heyman didn't have, and he's able to make these fights, and he's not. See, the difference is Al Heyman was forced to, and I believe at least he was forced to put on a lot of cards that it may have featured up and coming fighters to try to promote them to become superstars who were good fighters, or even good fighters who were champions at the time, but you know, had not able to reach that star threshold, you know, but he wasn't able to achieve that goal because the money ran out. And the
Right.
network, you know, all of the networks started shutting down business when it came to boxing, and then streaming, the tide turned and streaming came. Whereas here we have the Turkey, you know what I'm saying? His wallet is, like I said, I don't know if he mining the money over there, you know, but he's able to cut these checks.
Yo, I know one thing. We gotta find our way to a Riyadh season event. They be giving away $150,000 Mercedes and stuff like that to the people in the crowd. Be like, that's crazy. We ain't ever seen that. Where somebody in the crowd, like they have you buy a ticket and you in the drawing to win a Mercedes, but
Yeah,
like
this is
not like the little bull, not the little, you know what I mean? not not no bull either. Like some real, like the big boys. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like this is insane. Hold on one
yeah.
second. My computer bugging out. I don't know what is going on over here. Give me 1 second. Let me figure something out. I have to. It's the one. All right. Yeah. All right. Hopefully
Get it
that'll
together, brother.
solve the problem I'm dealing with. Yeah. Um. But you brought up a good. You also brought up another point I wanted to talk about. No more HBO boxing. You know what I'm saying? There's no more. There's no more Showtime. All we got now, what we got now is Turki Alalshikh, Riyadh season, who got um, Golden Boy, Top Rank, uh, Queensberry, Matchroom, and now I even hearing PBC starting to work with these guys. Um, he's getting them all under one banner. Now we lost, and if you've been a long time boxing fan like I have, like I missed HBO boxing. As biased as they could be at times, that's where all the best fights was happening. Then Showtime stepped up, and PBC. Now Showtime is out the biz,
Showtime was
huh?
always in the mix, though. HBO was number one, but Showtime was
Yeah,
always in the mix. They
I'm talking
always
about.
some
I'm
good
talking about
fight.
they like when HBO fell back,
But
they
even before
became
HBO fell back, Showtime was always in the mix, giving them comp. They was giving them.
nah.
Remember,
They was in the
Ice and
mix, but like
Holyfield
you,
it was Showtime.
yeah, I
Yeah,
know. Like listen, you're not following me. What I'm saying is HBO was number one. We both acknowledge that. HBO got out the game first.
Yeah, they
Showtime was the only thing we had left. That's what I'm saying. And now
yeah.
Showtime is gone.
But Showtime didn't last but like a year after HBO. I think what was it, a year later they got out the game
Nah,
themselves?
nah, nah, nah.
What
It was
was
way long. A few years. PBC was
it?
keeping Showtime afloat for mad years, and then they got out the game, right? A couple years ago. So now we got this guy who's bringing all these promotional companies together and putting on these big fights. So, but let's talk about some of the fighters. Man, mind you, Turkey owns Ring Magazine. So this tweet came out a few days ago. The ring can exclusively reveal that Turki Alalshikh is currently in advanced negotiations to finalize deals for upcoming fights with Canelo Alvarez, Anthony Joshua, Terrence Crawford, Inoue, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez, Jai Opataya, Chris Eubank Jr., Conor Ben, Isaac Pitbull Cruz, William Cepeda, Martin Bacole, and Anthony Yard. Um, I mean, how are you gonna pay all these guys? These are top dollar guys. Between Canelo, Anthony Joshua, Terrence Crawford alone, that's usually what break the bank for most promotional companies. My man has said, nah, we gonna work with all you guys, and we gonna make some deals happen. So 2025 is looking like the deal is done. The opponent is set. Big news coming soon. Exclusive in the Ring magazine. Let's get boxing great again. As you see, we got Ryan Garcia sitting there with his father signing the contract to go fight for Turki Alalshikh in Riyadh season. And rumor has it he's fighting Pitbull Isaac Cruz, man. This is what they saying. In Times Square, from what I'm hearing. He's looking to fight Pitbull Isaac Cruz.
Who just
That's a
came
big
off
fight.
that tough loss. He
And he's
just came off
fighting,
loss too.
huh?
He just
Yeah,
came off
and he's
tough
fighting
loss.
at 140 pounds. Now, this is where I get like I don't want this ain't gonna be a let me throw shade or bash Ryan Racist Garcia moment. But he said he was supposed to be moving up to 147, even 154, because he couldn't make 140 no more. But he's willing to fight Pitbull Cruz at 140. Now, mind you, this ain't an easy fight. So I'm gonna give him that. Pitbull Cruz, this is not gonna be an easy fight for Ryan Garcia. This is something that he can easily lose this fight. He could get dropped, knocked out by this Pitbull, man. They call him Pitbull for a reason. So I respect, and he's a former champion, lost his 140-pound belt to Jose Venezuela, and who put on an excellent performance in my opinion. I don't know how that was a split decision. I thought that was a clear victory for the youngster. But he's fighting Pitbull Isaac Cruz, and it's setting up because I believe on the same card,
Ooh,
Turkey Alalshikh,
ooh,
Ryan Garcia. Ryan
Ryan,
Garcia is I believe is on board to fight Isaac Pitbull Cruz at 140 on a Riyadh season card, right? They
yes.
rumors has it this fight's will be taking place in New York City at Times Square. Um, and on that same card, you're gonna get Devin the American Dream Haney versus Jose Ramirez. Now, here's the thing: the winner, both these guys got to win. Because to me, as a fan, I'm saying I don't win or lose. I still think a rematch should happen. But they talking about they fighting, I believe in May. They both win. Set up a rematch between Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney sometime in October.
It's interesting because even if they both lose, it still makes for an interesting rematch. It
Right,
becomes a crossroads rematch. You understand what I'm
right.
saying? If one of them loses, though, it kind of takes the luster away from it, especially Haney. If Haney loses to Ramirez, who, he's a tough veteran fighter, but he's also coming off a loss. His last fight against Arnold Barboza Jr. Back in November, he lost he coming off of a loss on his last bout. So it's a fight that should be a easy go, a little easy touch up fight for a warm up fight
for Haney.
for Haney to get him ready. Whereas the fight with Garcia versus Pitbull Cruz, that's a fight for Garcia. That's a fight that I'm gonna pick Cruz in that fight. To be honest with you, I think Cruz has what it takes to knock Garcia out in that fight, which it won't ruin the rematch, but it will take some luster out of the rematch. It definitely will take some luster out of the rematch. Not as much, like I said, if Danny loses to Ramirez, but this is one of them fights that it's really, I think it's maybe the safer fight that he's thinking than fighting Lopez, because Teofimo Lopez was actually initially considered, but I think that they might believe that it's a safer fight, but you know, Pitbull coming off that tough loss, they might be looking at it like, yo, he's just coming off a loss, but Pitbull might be hungry, getting his name back. A big win against Garcia would really put Pitbull right back in the mix, and I think he knows it. And he didn't really look bad in his last fight, to be honest with you. It just, he wasn't able to adjust, and I just really feel like this is gonna be Pitbull's fight. He might crash the party in this one.
I mean, I can't. I ain't gonna really pick a winner at this. I think I need to see what kind of shape Ryan is in, because if he had a hard time making 140 against Devin Haney, and I will say this too, if he makes 140, no problem this time. Some seem it looks more suspicious about the last fight, but we ain't even gonna go there right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give him a shot and see what happens come the weigh in and to see how he looks. But off
So wait,
top,
the fight is at 140.
the fight is at 140 from what's speculated that the fight is at 140. The fight's supposed to be at 140. That's what I read in Ring Magazine. That's what I believe the fight's supposed to be at 140. So, but my man Jay in the comment section saying it's supposed to be at a catch weight. We'll
Yeah,
see.
let's say
We'll
yeah.
see once all the details come out. It could be at a catch weight, but I can't see Pitbull Cruz fighting him at a catch weight when he's a legit 140 pounder. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what are they gonna fight at 143? Okay, maybe they could fight at 143. You know what I mean? But I don't see why Pitbull Cruz would want to do something like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't see why Ryan Garcia would do that to a fighter like Pitbull Cruz. Like, you need to fight that man at 140. He's a legit 140 pounder. But if it's a catch weight, it's a catch weight. We'll see once all the details come out. You know what I'm saying? But Devin Haney versus Jose Ramirez, like you said, I think that's more of a comeback fight. Pause, as they say, a soft touch. Even though Jose Ramirez is a decent fighter, a veteran, and can possibly, if you sleep on him, it'll be a long night for you. But I don't see him beating Devin Haney. But I feel like, in comparison to the two fighters and who their opponents are, Ryan Garcia is stepping in there against a tougher fighter at this particular moment in both of their careers. So uh, Devin Haney can't lose. He definitely can't lose this fight, man. Devin Haney cannot lose this fight. Um, and he has to win impressively, in my opinion. Ryan Garcia got a little bit more wiggle room, pause, in regards to fighting Isaac Pitbull Cruz, because Pitbull Cruz is a former champion. I mean, so is Jose Ramirez, but Pitbull Cruz just coming off a tough loss, looking to get back and get back in the win column. He may come in there motivated and ready to knock Ryan Garcia head off. But I don't think a loss from between either fighter should prevent a rematch. It may prevent to kind of check both fighters are trying to look for that fight. But I don't think it should prevent a rematch.
I definitely see if Haney, which I don't think he will. I expect Haney to easily beat Ramirez, but if Haney happens to lose to Ramirez, I definitely don't see an immediate rematch coming right after that with him and Garcia. It would be too many bigger fights for Garcia to take that would make more sense than for him to hop in that fight. Whereas if Garcia loses the Pitbull, and Haney is sensational in his victory, it still has the revenge factor. It still has the now that you're not cheating factor. Like it's just so many factors now that that create intrigue for that fight still.
Right. Right.
Whereas if he
Absolutely.
loses to Ramirez, it kind of shifts the direction that if I'm one of Garcia's handlers, I would want to go in.
Yeah, a loss. Yeah, a loss for Devin Haney.
We're looking at the caliber of
it
fighter.
does a
We're
lot
really
of damage.
and that's
Right.
really what it all is because of the caliber of fighter. Which why I think it's a good thing that they are fighting Ramirez. Ramirez is a fighter that he can go in there. Ramirez is a veteran, so he might be able to make the fight last a little bit. And I think that Haney, will be able to go in there and get his confidence back with a good win against a veteran like Ramirez.
But
But
his fight, but Ramirez Ramirez might be a little long in the tooth, but his fight against Barbosa was a pretty good fight. I mean, it wasn't no walk in the park for Barbosa to win that fight. It was a damn good fight.
it wasn't. It was like I said earlier. It was a tough loss for him. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't one of those fights where he just went out there and got dominated. He was in that fight, and I think that Haney and his camp need to be mindful of that. They need to be mindful that although his last fight was a loss, he didn't get washed in that fight. He didn't go out there
Right.
and get handled or lay down for that
Right.
matter.
Nah, I mean to give Ryan Garcia's credit, it's not a soft touch. This ain't a cherry pick. Isaac Pitbull Cruz is a legit opponent.
Yeah, he's
So
legit.
if he beats him, especially if he knocks him out, which Ryan Garcia do got that left hook, but he gonna need a lot more than that Osterine to knock out the young ball, man. You know what I'm
If he
saying?
knocks out Pitbull, if he knocks out Pitbull, and this is why I
Tank
said
couldn't do that.
this is why I said if he knocks out Pitbull or just even beating Pitbull, but if he knocks out Pitbull and Haney loses, he's it elevates him and knocks Haney down too much for that to make sense for that to be the next fight for Garcia if I'm in Garcia's corner.
If
You know.
if he knocks out Pitbull Cruz, not to cut you, pardon, so
Mhm.
if he knocks out Pitbull Cruz, that probably set up a fight between him and Tank more so than a rematch between him and and if Devin Haney loses, I'm saying
Right,
he's probably going to be more line to fight Tank because he would have done something that even Tank couldn't do, which is
right,
knock out Pitbull Cruz. You
right,
know what I mean?
right.
So, but we'll see how it all plays out. You know what I mean? Yeah. So some other things on the agenda of Turkey Alalshikh, other than Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia's on the same card. Turkey Alalshikh has declared that he now intends to make Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder if Tyson Fury remains retired. I want to see Joshua and Wilder now. If Tyson is not available, why not Joshua Wilder?
So he wanted Tyson
And
and
Joshua, I
Josh,
assume.
which makes sense because of the
Right,
British feud. It made so much sense when they were both title holders. You know what I'm
right.
saying? That fight made so much sense. For that fight to not have happened then is a travesty. For us not to have got that fight then, that's a fight that I still would like to see, though, in all honesty. And honestly, that's a fight I would like to see. Wilder Joshua, I don't really care for. And it's really because I don't care to see Wilder in any ring anytime soon. Matter of fact, ever again. You know what I'm saying? Like here we see him taking a devastating knockout loss to Zhang, and you know, uh, again, it's just it's this guy is done. Before that, we seen him we seen him with Parker. We see him losing to Parker. I don't when the writing is on the wall. I don't know what it takes for somebody to read it and see. It's over. It's over for this guy. And I don't think that this is right. This is where me and the Turk I have an issue with the Turk because the Turk knows damn well Deontay Wilder does not need to be in no boxing rings at all. At all. that man should stay away from for his own health. That man is a danger to himself right now, just wanting to fight.
I don't know what. I'm gonna watch it. Do I want to see it? Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna watch it too, but this is our job to watch this.
I mean, you also got Anthony Joshua who's coming off a loss. Like
Right.
Daniel Dubois pretty much dog walked homeboy for however long that fight lasted. What was it, like 5 rounds? I don't even remember. But he dog walked him. Look at my man. Like look, boom.
He was in there with the right
right
and then
Back. Oh,
nah,
like
he clipped him with the right, and then that little hybrid uppercut like type of hook type thing he threw. It just was too much. That was over. It was over after that.
I mean, I mean, look, they're both coming off of losses, knockout losses. Wilder's probably on a little bit more of a, probably more on a downside of his career than Joshua at this point. I don't think Joshua losing to Dubois was as bad as Wilder even losing to Joseph Parker at this. But no disrespect Joseph Parker. But the Zhang beating though. When he had my man do like the 360 turn, like had him doing the do
his nose, and I don't know what he was looking for the ref for. It looked like he was looking for some type of assistance from the ref, and he started talking to the ref. The rules is protect yourself at all time. Once you get to a point in boxing where you forget that rule in the ring, it's time to throw in the towel for good.
Yo, hold on. And it's like he got hit, and he was like, "Yo, ref, what happened? Yo, he hit me. Yo, he was like, he was like, yo, ref, what your man doing over here, bro? Boom.
He's punching on you. That's what he's doing. He's punching on you. Yeah, man. And he punched you again while you sitting there talking to the ref. He punched you again. He wasn't finished. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't done.
Everybody knows I'm a Wilder fan, man, but I need Wilder to win this
fight.
That's all I need.
To protect yourself. It's protect yourself at all times. Wilder did not protect himself. And once you get into that part where you're no longer protecting yourself, it's time to call it quits, man.
Now, but that aside, like, I mean, again, I want to watch it. Do I want to see it? I wanted to see it, what was it, like 5 years ago? I wanted to see this fight. I don't think this fight is needed. However, it's a big fight. Still, there are people that still want to see. It's a big fight. Nonetheless, even though we getting it late,
it's somewhat of a big fight. It's a
big fight. Nah, this is a big fight. This is a big fight, bro.
Come on, we've been talking about Wilder though, right? We haven't really spoken about what you did about Joshua and his well-being. Joshua has not. He's looked sloppy. He's looked dependent. Now he's got heart. He's got determination. You know, we should have got clips. I should have put some clips up of when he fought Klitschko. He really showed a lot of heart. He got off the ground after already looking like he was about to put Klitschko out. Got dropped, and then got up to finish the job, and that's how he became the champion. But in his last few fights, he's taken some shots in them last few fights, and especially in the Dubois fight, he took some pretty hard heavyweight punches, flush. You know, he was dropped a good 3 times in that fight. You know, it might have been 4. I think it was 3, but he was dropped 3 times in that fight. And I mean, this is one of them fights. I wouldn't be surprised if one of them got knocked out. I wouldn't be surprised if they go out there and knock each other out with the first punch they each throw. I mean, we're looking at we're looking at 2 fighters who have won it and because of their lack of defense have shortened their shelf life.
Yeah, it's a big fight. And Turki Alalshikh is still giving us something that some people want to see. Not that I don't want to see it. I just wish they both wasn't coming off knockout losses. I wish Wilder didn't. I wish Wilder. What happened?
You need to cut you off like that. But I was saying This is the cruel side of the Turk right here. Wanting to see while they're in the ring. even Joshua, even seeing these two fighters in the ring. This is the type of fight that, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. Both of these fighters are risking a lot stepping in the ring with each other. They both hit hard. They both don't have the chin to stand up under the guns that each other carry.
Which is, I guess, which one is who's gonna
And this makes
who's
it
gonna get that
exciting,
shot
but
off first?
this
Yeah.
makes it an exciting fight. But it makes an exciting fight for a cruel, sadistic type of person, though.
Like,
This
when are
is
you gonna
speaking to
die?
the,
No, they
yeah.
got their time.
This is
Like,
speaking. This is speaking to that carnal, sadistic side of people
I
who
mean,
still want to see this fight.
I just don't want to. Hopefully, both them brothers will go home healthy to their family and be able to have all of their faculties and be good after whatever the result is of that fight.
The
But
likelihood of
I
that is
am but I am concerned for Deontay Wilder just because the type of beatings. See, Joshua, Andy Ruiz caught him with a quick little flurry, bop bop bop, had him on skates. Uh, then what do you call it? And then I kind of just beat on him for a few rounds. It looked bad, but when you think about the punishment that Deontay Wilder took over them 3 fights with Fury, then what Zhang did to him, had my man looking at the ref like, "Yo, help me out," and put his lights out, man. I don't know, man. I just hope, no disrespect to Deontay Wilder, because I'm a huge Deontay Wilder fan, man. Get rid of Malik Scott. So let's keep, let's move on. Let's move on
we
to
both
some
agree
other plans. Huh? Yeah. I know we
I
agree
think
on that one.
on that one. But
Let's move on to some other plans that the Emperor Turki Alalshikh, the Emperor of boxing. Let's move on to some other plans that he has. But before we do that, man, um, just want to remind everybody, please jab that like button, uppercut that subscribe button, lead hook that share button, and throw a combination at the notification bell so you can stay updated when we drop new content. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at the Parry 101. It's no more TikTok. It is what it is. So,
now
um,
TikTok is back. It's back already.
oh, it's back already?
Yeah, it's back already. This is back already.
Say word. All right,
Word
so I
about
gotta put it back. I gotta put it back on the banner, yo. Follow
yeah,
us
it's back
at
already.
the.parry.101. You know what I'm saying? Or
We
TikTok.
still on
Yeah,
TikTok. We still on TikTok.
we still
TikTok.
alive in effect, yo. Trump just he put it back. He put it back in. He was like, nah, we
Yeah.
ain't doing that.
TikTok lives, man. TikTok.
Okay, cool. Shout out to TikTok, man. All right, so we back and we back.
Yeah.
Some other plans that the Emperor Turki Al-Sheikh, the Emperor of boxing, some other plans he has. Jerome Boots Ennis versus, I can't, we bad with names on this show, but my man Stanionis, excuse me,
And he on this
is
here.
now nearly finalized for a WBA IBF welterweight world title unification fight on April 12th at Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City, New Jersey. The
Yes, sir.
ring has learned. Now, mind you, just before we even get too deep into this fight, if you hear from the ring now, in regards to the Turk, you can take it to the bank because he owned it. You know what I'm saying? He owned it.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He
Yeah.
owned it. So they got the direct link.
That's
Sauce, he just called him up.
actually
Yeah, I
coming
said
from
it.
the Turk. That's actually the Turk talking right now. You know what I mean?
That's him right there.
You know what I mean? Turk Ring Magazine Alalshikh. You know what I mean? He's not
Yo,
playing.
did news come out about him buying this? Because it seemed like, because I just found out the other day. I'm like, wait a minute, this dude owned the Ring magazine? Like, when did this happen? I thought Golden Boy and them owned it. No?
That's what I thought. I thought that was Golden Boy's acquisition. I thought that was a
Yo,
Golden
he
Boy.
slid Oscar a check real quick. Like, here's another check.
Take
Take
that off
that. Give
your
me the
hands.
Ring magazine real quick.
This off your hands, Oscar. Yeah, what I mean.
He just snatched that magazine right up from him, man. That's crazy. So now the Bible of boxing
Buy
is
yourself
owned
another.
by the
Buy
Emperor of
yourself
boxing.
another mountain of blow. You know what I mean? For your fueling your clapback Fridays, Oscar. Take that off your hands.
Yeah, he
You
took
know.
that. But yeah, but uh, Boots Ennis versus Stanionis, excuse me, I'm being damn. It's now
Stand
finally
yo.
finalized for unification. Yeah, for unification WBA IBF welterweight title bout, unification bout, April 12th, Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Che, we going?
Yeah,
He
that's a
said,
plan
we
right there.
going.
That right there is a plan right there. The Parry will be in the building for that, New Jersey.
If Boots don't fix his flaws or a weak defense, he will lose to Stanionis.
Yeah.
Well,
Um, that's a good fight for Boots. It's a great fight for Boots. Um, it's a fight that's the fight Boots needs right there. This is a fight that's gonna up his stock. It's gonna make him worth more now. You're a unified champion now. Now people have to see you now. Now you are somebody to actually beat in the division now. And now you're looking at anybody else who lays claim to that division as somebody who needs to be handled if they want to claim supremacy. Like,
you breaking up. You breaking up, G.
how about right now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, I was pretty much saying a win for Enos puts him in a position where now he is a must see fighter now. And when I say that, I mean for the other fighters, they have to come to him now. He will be a unified champion, and anybody else claiming any type of supremacy to that division will now have to see him to be official. Like you can't be the king of that division with this guy floating around as a unified champion now, as looking as impressive as he's been looking. Now he will be somebody to beat if he's able to become the unified WBA and IBF champion.
Well, I predict this to be his toughest fight at 147. I don't know if Stanionis can beat Boots. Stanionis is a tough fighter, good fighter. Should be his toughest fight for both parties. Um, all I'm gonna ask you, Che, is please don't call a man Enos. His name is Ennis. Okay, we're not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna call a man Enos. Sounds crazy. You know what I mean? His name is Ennis. All right, Ennis Boots. All right, you go call that man. Call that man by his proper name, please. Not
Enos
Enos.
Boots.
It's Ennis. You know what I'm saying? But nah, that's a big
And
fight. A fight that's a fight that
Jerron,
I'm looking to buy tickets if it's legit. Well, according to Ring Magazine, which we know this coming from the Turk, is looking like that's something that's gonna happen. We know that Boots is under Matchroom. Um, so I want to be in the building for that. Real talk. I want to be in the building for that one, man. When was the last time there was a fight in Atlantic City?
it's been a minute.
Been a
It's
minute.
been a it's been a minute because I know when I was just up there, staying up there, I was waiting for a fight in AC because it was right up the highway. I would have been there and like that. So it's been
Right,
a
right.
minute. It's been a minute.
But
You
y'all
know,
go, y'all can
it
most
might have
likely
been
y'all gonna
good that,
catch the Parry live in the building.
and
That's
it
what
might
happening
have
though.
been good that he ducked Ortiz. That might have actually been smart of him to duck Ortiz right now, especially for the unification. It's a you're weighing, and this is in response to the comments. You're weighing your options for the next fight, and you're maximizing your potential. A unification fight now, if they come back to fight Ortiz, it gives him more room at the negotiation table. Also, it gives him more options at as far as big fights coming up for him who he can face. So the Ortiz fight in the short term might have been a more intriguing fight to see, and it might have seemed like a more of a test or a better fight. However, for his career, I definitely think that it was a smart move to fight um Stanionis as opposed to fighting Ortiz personally.
I agree.
But I would have
I
loved
agree
to
with
see
that.
the fight. I would have loved to see the fight with Ortiz, But I think that was a smart move to go for the unification as opposed to fighting Ortiz right now.
I agree with that. I mean, Boots always been saying he wanted to be undisputed at 147. So let the young boy go and do his thing. Let him go do what he intend on doing and accomplish what he wanted to do. At the same time, when he decides to move up, he'll be in line for a title shot from one of them straps at 154. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might as well go collect 2 or 3 of them straps, moves up to 154, and figure out which champion you want to fight at 154. That simple. I mean, but even though, like you said, I would have loved to see Virgil Ortiz versus Boots. I wanted to see that when Virgil Ortiz was still at 147.
Right.
So
Right.
I think I agree with you. I think that was probably the best move was for him to go ahead and fight Stanionis for the unification. Because that's what they always been talking about doing in the first place. So
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Nothing wrong with that. Um now, oh, real quick, we can speak on this one too, real quick. Conor Ben, Eubank Jr. April 26th, London, England. We know this is a grudge match. Not a grudge match. This is a rivalry between fathers and now the sons.
Exactly. This rivalry, then generational rivalry right here.
Yeah, nah, this one I'm actually really looking forward to watching. I don't know. Hopefully, I mean, no disrespect to either one of them guys, but this should probably be on the undercard of a big fight because I don't know if that's pay per view worthy. At least not over here. Like I'm not paying for that. I'm just being honest. Like I like both
We got
guys.
to understand it on the other side of the pond, though. You know, they take the boxing. Boxing is a much more bigger sport, and these fighters, for example, you know, Chris Eubank was never a big fighter over here like that, but over in
Right.
England, he was loved over there. When Nassim Hamed, before he even signed the contract with HBO and came over to New York to fight Kevin Kelly, you know, he was beating up on people like Tom Johnson and um, Jose Padilla over there in England. You know, selling out arenas. You understand
I
what I'm
mean,
saying?
But Nigel Ben was doing this thing over here. Like
Yeah,
he beat Iran
the Dark
Barkley.
Destroyer. He beat Iran Barkley. He also had that fight, the tragic fight with Gerald McClellan, which ended Gerald McClellan's career.
His career.
You know, and
Yep.
in all honesty, and they recently, well, a few years back, he went there and met with McClellan for the first time to even see the damage that was caused in that fight. And it's an unfortunate situation, but Nigel Ben he was a dirty fighter too, though. He was rough. He was. I
He
mean,
was a dog. He was a dog, man. He was a
tough,
dog, man.
rough, tough. You know, he was the Dark Destroyer, man, for real.
Yeah, for real, for real. So, but the
And his
sons,
son is
you
like
know,
this. His son is like the base destroyer. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if his son is actually a destroyer though. You know what I'm saying? That remains to be seen. You know what I'm
the
saying?
base, the base destroyer. That's crazy.
Yeah, you know, his son is a
Well,
whole.
but yeah. So we got we know Turkey had a hand in making that fight. I think, yeah, like you said, that is a big fight over in the UK. One that I'm definitely looking forward to. I just don't know if I want to pay per view for it. I probably would, but at the right price point. But I'm hoping they put that on the undercard of a bigger fight. You know what I mean? Because you see how they've been stacking cards. Like Turkey is known for stacking his cards. Look at the card he got coming up for Better Be Bevo.
Mm, right. Now, I'm guessing that this particular comment right here is speaking to the Turk, and I'm 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 making an assumption here that this brother right here is a Saudi. I'm making that assumption right here, and I appreciate the comment for that. He's speaking from a Saudi perspective on how they see the Turk. And, we up here. The title is that the Turk is the new emperor. Now, the emperor has many different, uh, connotations. You know what I'm saying? Like you say emperor, and it doesn't necessarily mean positive. And when I say emperor, I hear emperor, I think of Star Wars, and that was a bad dude. But anyway, so this is an interesting take. He said he's seen as a hedonistic joke slash curse in Saudi Arabia. And of course, we're actually not in tune with Saudi Arabian and what's going on over there like that. In all fairness, like we actually aren't. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's cool. You feel what I'm saying?
I mean,
But we're
again,
really
man, we're
specifically speaking on in
about
boxing in the
boxing.
sport. I don't know with Saudi Arabia. I don't know what the temperature is for boxing in Saudi Arabia. If I don't even know any good. What Muhammad Hamshu maybe was the last from Saudi. I don't even know if he was from Saudi Arabia. However, yeah, we're really talking boxing though. I don't know his reputation or who he is or what he is. I just know that he has a shitload of money, you know. But appreciate your
Well,
feedback.
again, man, again, like Chase said, we talking boxing, not really in tune. You're right. We're not in tune with the average Saudi and what's going on in Saudi Arabia. If that's where you're from, or if that's your background or heritage or what have you. Like we're not in tune with that. In all honesty, what we know of him is what we know of him in relates to boxing. I don't really know much about him outside of what he has done for the sport of boxing. So in all fairness, forgive us for our ignorance if there's other things we should know about him. And you can always email us at blacknificentboxing at gmail.com.
Spell that out
Put
for
us on to
me,
some information.
or put
You
that
know,
in the comments.
yeah, put it in the comment section. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
In all fairness, we would we both brothers who like to learn and we both like to study. So some things we should know about the man that we are uninformed on. By all means, please enlighten us. But we're just a boxing channel, brother. Um, Jizzle asks, "What's your thought on B Hop saying Crawford is putting his life on the line for a payday?" We're gonna get back to that one. And I don't know your name. Bach Precision, is that what it's? BOQ
Precision. Rock
Precision.
precision. Rock precision.
Um, we thank you, bro. Just for for checking in with us and also dropping your opinion and letting us know what it is from your perspective. Definitely appreciate you for tuning in, and please continue to tune in, man. Because if you're a boxing fan, this is the place to be for boxing. Um, Jizzle, we're gonna get back to that. So yes, I'm born in Saudi Arabia, but live in the U.S. now. Okay, okay. See, again, well, you would know, we know most people in America aren't in tune with what's going on in Saudi Arabia like that. So, but yeah, he was he asked about B Hop saying about Crawford putting his life on the line. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to the next thing. You see, the Turk is sitting there chopping it up with Terrence Crawford. You know what I mean, and talking about putting a fight on between Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford. Um, from what I'm hearing, rumor has it the fight has been finalized for September. I don't think a location was given yet. I believe they're both going to have a fight beforehand. Um, I know Canelo usually fights in May and in September. I'm hearing Crawford is going to fight Deverenchenko at 168 first, is what I'm hearing. That's the rumor that I'm hearing. He's going to fight Deverenchenko at 168 before he fights Canelo sometime in September. What's your thoughts?
Well, uh, we're here. We see Crawford sparring with Ward, Andre Ward, and we don't really know what happened. We only got clips of this 3-round sparring session that took place. There you see though Crawford popping Ward with the jab. Now we're talking size difference. Now you're gonna spar with somebody at 168 pounds who's 168 pounds or who fought at 168 pounds. Why not spar with who's arguably the greatest 168 pounder that probably ever lived, or at least one of them? At least one of them. He's up there. Um, so why not have that? If you can hold your own with him, you can probably most likely absolutely hold your own with this guy right here. Um, Crawford, very strong fighter. He's one of those guys where don't underestimate his actual strength. Um, Spence, one of the biggest problems that Spence had going into the fight with Crawford was his strength, was the strength of Crawford. As you've seen early in the fight, when how Crawford was able to just push Spence back. With that said, I think that Hopkins is being a hater right now. I think that Hopkins knows in his heart that this is a very attainable feat for Crawford. Hopkins knows the sport. And for Hopkins to say that Crawford is putting his life on the line in this fight, every boxer puts their life on the line when they step in the ring. When B Hop got knocked out by that Russian, he put his life in the line. You understand what I'm saying? When B Hop got put through the ropes by the Russian or the Eastern European, he put his life on the line. This is the fight business. You know what I'm saying? Fighters put their life on the line. We don't want to see no ring casualties or none of that, but we do understand that for our entertainment, what these fighters actually go out there and risk, which is why we may joke a lot and things talking about fighters and all that. But the truth is, it's really rare that we outright call a fighter a bum because we know what they're actually doing when they get in the ring, what they're actually putting on the line for our entertainment of the sport as spectators who sit here and give you commentary on the sport. But I think that B Hop is just being a hater, man, personally,
I
with that statement. And I
with B
actually
Hop
like
saying,
Crawford to win this fight.
I think a lot of boxing experts are picking Crawford for this fight, but is Crawford putting his life on the line? Yes. The thing about boxing, like Chase said, when every time you step in the ring, you put your life on the line. But Crawford is doing something that is reminiscent of old school fighters, the great fighters of the past, where they dare to be great. You know what I'm saying? Um, go back as far as like fighters like Sam Langford, man, who I believe was like a welterweight, man. He went up, fought heavyweight. Um, Terrence Crawford is jumping
Henry
up three weight
Armstrong.
classes. Right. He's jumping up three weight classes to fight what some people believe is probably the best fighter in the game, or one of them. Um, he's coming up from 135 and he's going up to 168 pounds to fight the best fighter at 168 because he's daring to be great. And this is no knock on B Hop and his legacy and all the great things that he done in the sport. But this ain't something that Bernard Hopkins attempted to do. Jump three weight classes in 1 year to fight arguably the best fighter in that division. Not arguably, the best fighter at 168 pounds. So I don't view him as being a hater more so than, but on top of saying that the man is risking his life, give him his props. Give him his props and give him his respect for jumping up three weight classes and daring to be great and doing something that is unprecedented. That's something we haven't seen in generations. That a fighter that's going up, moving up three weight classes, other than probably Roy Jones going up to heavyweight from light heavyweight, jumping up to heavyweight to win a heavyweight championship. We haven't seen nothing like it.
Well,
Um,
we seen Trinidad jump up the middleweight, although he ended up running into Bernard Hopkins. But
right.
we
But he
seen
didn't
him.
jump. He didn't jump three weight classes in 1 year.
He didn't
That's
jump
what I'm
three weight
saying.
classes, but we did. We seen Sugar Shane Mosley jump from lightweight to welterweight to defeat Oscar De La Hoya.
But I'm saying we have to go. Fighters today are not doing these things. Is my point.
No, they're not. They're not. This is something
That's my
that
point.
fighters. No, I actually agree 100%. This is what you said. He's daring to be great. We actually even spoke about this when he initially made the challenge. You know, like look at the man beats Errol Spence, who is arguably pound for pound number one on a lot of experts pound for pound list at the moment, at that moment. and he was arguably either number 2 or number 1. You understand what I'm saying? Like they were arguably 1 and 2 in that situation. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, um, after he beats this man, who does he want to go to now? The other person who they saying is number 1 or number 2 in boxing, Canelo. That's that's a special fighter looking to do some special things. You know what
How
I'm
many weight
saying?
classes did Mikey Garcia move up to fight Spence? I believe he moved up one weight class. He went up from one. I believe he was already at 140 pounds when he moved up to fight Spence at 147. He said, "What? Hell nah. Spence wasn't no number one or number two pound for pound. What are you saying? What are you saying? Well, maybe not number two. He was top five for sure. He was top five. A lot of people had number three at the lowest. People had him at number three, I believe, on the pound for pound list. He was up there. He was top five for sure. He might not have been number two. He was top five for sure. Um, yeah, Mikey Garcia moved up one weight class, and yeah, I know it's two weight classes, but why I say three, he's just moving up to 154. Had the one fight. We all know Terrence Crawford is probably not even a real 154 pounder, man. Like the dude's coming up from 135, but you're right, he's moving up two weight classes in 1 year to fight Canelo. So that's right and exact. But nonetheless, it's probably the biggest fight in boxing until we're able to probably get. No, that's probably the biggest fight in boxing right now. Uh, Nothing's probably coming close until we're able to get Tank and Shakur in the ring, maybe. Um, but yeah, that's probably the biggest fight in boxing. Uh, Canelo versus Terrence Crawford, and I'm glad that the fight is done. That we're actually going to get it. I don't know why it took so long. I think Canelo understands the danger that he's in fighting such a special fighter. I don't think he's afraid to fight Crawford, but I think the risk versus reward, um, it doesn't even out. You know what I'm saying? Like he
And he
beats Crawford.
remembers the
He,
ass whooping he took against Mayweather. He remembers
I
that
mean,
ass.
he beats. I mean, he fought Mayweather at a catch weight. Um, and now, but now he has a fighter. He has a fighter that's moving up to fight him.
What
Right.
I
Once
mean by
again.
that is, what I mean by is he remembers what it's like to fight a smaller, cagey black fighter with better skills than him. He remembers that. And he's not in no rush to do that again. You have to pay him a lot of money for him to do that again. And it's just that simple. But he won't. He won't forget.
Nah, I mean that aside, I'm just saying as far as just the advantages, right? When he fought Floyd Mayweather, he didn't really have no advantage other than his youth. Um, Now he has a guy that's actually he has to move up two weight classes to fight him on his own terms. He's the champion. Floyd Mayweather was the A side in that equation. They fought at a catch weight. Everything was pretty much to Mayweather's advantage, except for the age factor. Um, but this time he has a fighter moving up two weight classes to fight him. Um, Kind of like Kell Brook when Kell Brook moved up to fight Triple G, right? Remember when Kell Brook moved up two weight classes? He moved up to 160 pounds from 147 to fight Triple G. That's probably the last time we seen something like this. Where another fighter was daring to be great. You had a smaller fighter moving up to fight the bigger, stronger fighter and champion at the time, um, in Triple G. Yeah, I think that's probably the last time we seen anything close to this, where a fighter was moving up two weight classes or more to fight arguably the best guy, toughest guy in that division. So shout out to Kell Brook, Special K, man. That was one of my favorite fighters back in the day. I ain't gonna say back in the day, but like a few years back when he was at welterweight. I thought he was the best welterweight until Spence broke his face. But anyway, um, with that being said, What he said. Oh, shout out to Baba Sekou, man. What's up, Baba? I agree with the pragmatic. Canelo remembers his difficulty with a slick black fighter. I mean, yeah, yeah, of course he remembers, but again, he didn't have to deal with some of the circumstances that he had to deal with when it comes to Floyd. Um, he said that said, Canelo should be favored. Eh, yeah, he probably should be, man. I mean, look at this guy, man. I mean, look at this guy, man. Like, man, but Crawford's a special fighter. Um, I think I need to see how he look against Deverenchenko for me to really make a real bold prediction to say Crawford is going to win. Um, I expect Canelo to win his next fight, whoever he chooses to fight. Um, but I think the key for me is watching to see how Crawford looks and moves around at 160, especially against a tough fighter like Deverenchenko. So Crawford may could survive if he jumps on a Suzuki 4,000. Other than that, he will perish. Okay, clearly you're not a Crawford fan, clearly, or well, you know what? Nah, let me not say that because a lot of people think how you think. That it's too big of a jump. I mean, two weight classes is a lot. I mean, this man fought at 135, 135, 140, 147. Now he's at 154. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, with that said, yeah, man, it's the Turk. I mean, Turkey Alalshikh is the one who's giving us all of these big fights moving forward. Not to mention, you got fighters like Shakur Stevenson about to fight on one of his cards, right? You got Teofimo Lopez looking to work with him. There's a lot of big names and big fights that's it's gonna be happening under the Riyadh season banner and under Turkey Al Sheikh's vision. So, you know, as it stands right now, he is the man in boxing. He is the emperor in boxing, and I think it's also being rumored that he's looking to purchase the sanctioning bodies. You know what I mean? I think
Yeah,
he's looking to buy like the WBC and the WBA and the IBF. He's looking to buy these. I mean, this is just rumored at this point that he's looking to buy the sanctioning bodies and create and go back to the one belt era. Something that I know my brother Che Black is absolutely excited about if it was to happen. I know something that he supports. But guys, speak on that.
absolutely. And real quick, Crawford, he walks around roughly around like 180 pounds, around that, like 175
Nah,
pounds.
he walks around like 160,
Nah,
165,
it was about
170.
he get the scale. He was about 175, 180 pounds when he was on the Breakfast Club or one of them. He was on one of them talking. He said his weight, and I was like, "Whoa!" You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
he don't
this
he don't even look he
brother,
don't look it though.
the brother was a whole cruiserweight. You know what I mean? Basically. So I definitely think he could do that. I definitely think he'd do that. And as far as my take on the Sheikh buying all the sanctioning bodies, like I said, I mean that's some bold talk right there, and that really I don't know where that leaves the future of boxing though. That's the dangerous part about that because now you're putting boxing completely in this man's hands, and excuse me, where does that leave the future of the sport? It's too we can't see that far ahead of the curve to see how good or bad that could be in the long run. I can't really I see a lot of bad in one person with that much power, but I will say having one belt is great. Like having one belt is what the sport has needed for the past damn near 50 years. Like having one belt, one recognizable champion in each division, not having, a recess champion, a interim champion, a super champion, you know what I'm saying? And then a regular champion, and then unified champions and all with the same belt. It just is ridiculous. I done seen 4 NBA champions one time in the same division. It just makes no sense. It was bad enough having a WBA, WBC, IBF. Then they want to annex the WBO into consideration, which to me was always a bogus, dubious sanctioning body from the beginning. I think that one came out of somewhere out of South Carolina, South America, one of them South American countries. And another dubious, I think I was from Venezuela or something, along with the WBA. These titles and these championships, they need to be consolidated. We need to know who the champion is. This is part of the reason why it's hard to make superstars in boxing. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't even know who the champions are. You know. So how long did we go without with the heavyweight, the most prestigious division in boxing, knowing who the actual champion is or who the titleists are? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we were fortunate to come up in the days of Evander Holyfields and Mike Tyson's and Lennox Lewis, who these guys made it a point to go out there and let it be known that they are the champion. And these are the people who went out there and made it a point to unify the titles. And then we had the Klitschko era, which was the two champion, the brother era. And then coming after the Klitschko era, we went into the Deontay Wilder and Dubois. I mean, not Dubois, pardon me. Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. So there's just so many errors in boxing. And then in between that, we had what's my man, the Puerto Rican champion, the WBA guy who Roy Jones beat. Oh man, I'm seeing John Ruiz, and then James Toney beat him in that whole fiasco with James Toney, and they said that he tested positive for steroids or whatever.
Shout out James Toney, man. He's a family here on the Parry. Let's go.
Yeah, family on the Parry. You know what I mean? But so absolutely, I think that is great. That's a great idea. It's just that to have one person, the head of all of this, like when we say boxing's new emperor, this is what being an emperor, like this is why we use terms like emperor, because this is some emperor type stuff right here. To be able to buy all three sanctioning bodies, is that even legal? Is there a monopoly law? I mean, these sanctioning bodies are in what, Venezuela and in Mexico, and I think one is in Newark, New Jersey. I'm not sure if the IBF is still in Newark, but I mean, most of these sanctioning bodies aren't even in the states anymore. Aren't even in the states.
I don't know how it. I don't see why they would have any incentive to sell. All things considered, this is the oldest sport. You know what I'm saying? Um, and they continuously gonna get a check. You know what I'm saying, from fighters who want to be champions and want to represent a particular sanctioning body, WBC, IBF, or what have you. I don't see why they would have the incentive to sell, but we've seen stranger things happen, man. I support it, but I'm also like you said, I'm concerned about just the one person kind of being the sole authority. Now, if he puts together a sanctioning body, like as a board, and he's not the sole authority or have the sole say so, he just funding money and this, that, and the third, it could work. It could work. A one belt type situation. I don't know what they would call that belt or what, how it would look, but I'm gonna be honest, that undisputed belt, that looked kind of like a knockoff UFC belt. But nonetheless, I think it's something that we should explore. You know what I'm saying? I will say that it'll force guys like the bigger names in the sport to fight. Like if you want to become the man and prove that you are the champion, you got to beat the man. You won't be one of the men who have a belt. Now, if you want to be the champ, you got to
Exactly.
go and fight
Exactly.
the champ.
Being the
You know what
champ
I'm
will
saying?
mean you are the champ. You are the actual best. And you can't just sit on it. You got to now fight and hold your title down now, because
You
there's
got to defend that.
contenders.
Murderers row. Murderers
Murders
row.
before you can be a champion in a division, and your top contender can be the you could be the WBC champion and the top guy could be rated in the IBF, but because he's rated in the IBF, you don't have to worry about fighting him. Or
Yeah, we
because
might have to
he's
get
the
my man on
IBF
the show right
champion,
here, man.
because he's the IBF champion, because he's the IBF champion, and what's the name? Because he's the IBF champion, and the other dude is the WBC champion. Then you know what I'm saying? I don't gotta fight, a thing. Gotta
Right,
eliminate all of that.
right, right. Absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, man. Shout out to Turkey Alalshikh, man. His Excellency, the Emperor, whatever you want to call him around these parts. But he's looking like the savior of boxing over here at the Parry, man. But we almost running out of time. Just want to thank everybody, man, who showed up for us out here. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody who joined us, man, in the chat, man. You know who you are. We rocks with you. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for rocking with us, man. But I'm gonna remind everybody to please jab that like button, uppercut that subscribe button, lead hook that share button, and throw a combination at the notification bell so you can stay updated when we drop new content. Yo, Che, what you got to say? Is there any parting words, bro, before we get up out of here?
Nah, there's no parting words. I did want to bring up this thing with Clarissa Shields and Layla Ali going back and forth. We are
Mm-hmm.
running out of time, so I'll keep it real brief. But yeah, recently Layla Ali came out and made a statement that Clarissa Shields will not get far. With all these feuds that she got carrying on, I guess she's talking about the extracurricular stuff that she got going on, not just her boxing feuds, but like a Remy Ma feud or whatever's going on with that, and just her internet, feuding with mailboxes or whatever, which I do find annoying, but I mean, it is what it is. But Layla recently made a comment saying that she won't get far, and Clarissa responded that she's jealous, she's hating, and I've gotten farther than you, and that's why you always got something negative to say. I don't know. It could be jealousy, or it could just be a concern of hers. Um, I do believe that if it was a true concern of Layla Ali, though, she would have probably tried to reach out to her personally and try to express this instead of going publicly saying this statement. I'm always wary when people decide to take that route first, especially when they're acting like they're speaking out of any type of concern for somebody. Um, and I do personally think that there probably is a little bit of jealousy because, I mean, Clarissa Shields has really eclipsed and surpassed the career of Layla Ali as far as ring accolades goes. Multi-division champion, undisputed champion. She's even fought another, like, even outside of boxing, went to MMA and kicked some ass. So it's like you can't really take nothing away from this girl, and she has earned the GOAT title. And I can see there being an issue with just that right there. Just her walking around with the GOAT title. And I'm sure Layla Ali's like, damn, I should have thought of that. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out Layla Ali. I'm not even gonna get into that, man. I'll let you have those parting words. I'm not even gonna comment on that one. Shout out to both of the queens. You know what I'm saying, Clarissa and Layla Ali.
Nah, don't let me
Hopefully
get
y'all getting.
anything. You got something to say on to say something. Don't let me get nothing.
Nah. Nope. I ain't got nothing to say other than I love both them ladies, and I hope they can work that out, squash that, because it'd be beautiful to see one of the greats of past generations. You know what I mean? Patch things up and give some support and show some love to the greatest woman fighter that we know of and that we've seen in women boxing history, and Clarissa the Goat Shields, because she's the Goat. I think she earned that title multiple times, over and over again, man. So I ain't taking nothing from neither one of them. Jealousy or not, they both great, and I think they need to squash that and show some love, man. Just because for the other women fighters coming up behind y'all,
Who
it
had
just
the
be good
better
to see.
career?
I think I just said it. I think I
Okay.
just said it.
You didn't
There's
directly
only
say
one
it.
quote. Yes, I
Okay.
did. I said it's only one quote. I said
Okay,
the
no, you
quote.
said that. I was being direct though. Now you said that, which insinuates it's an insinuation. Don't get me wrong. Like, you insinuated it. I was just asking you directly though. That's all.
Clarissa, I
It's
don't think
okay.
is up for
It's
debate.
okay. I got you. I
She
got it.
proved I said Clarissa Shields the greatest woman fighter that we've seen in
Mm-hmm.
history. Clarissa's the one, bro. I'm not. She's the GOAT. There. I don't. There ain't up for debate on any. Who's going to debate that? Two-time Olympian, gold medalist, multiple unified and undisputed champion in multiple weight divisions. Like, and you know what I'm saying? She rocking with Pep, so she rocking with Brooklyn, so we rocking with her. So anyway, on that note, man, again, this has been another episode of the Parry, where we don't pull or duck no punches, and the parry is fundamental to boxing. I am your host, Bomani UFG.
I am the pragmatic Shea Black.
And until next time, we out of here. We thank y'all for rocking with us. Peace.
Actually, now we're going to show you how to catch the jab. Actually, in boxing, it's called parrying.